So here we are at part 9, installing Windows 11. So we have Windows 11 over here, but we're actually going to change out the drive I put in there. I put a few drives actually. So let's get inside there. So here we have the case on its side. It's just much easier. I got the cover off, so you can see I have a Western Digital blue SSD in there, a normal SATA 6 one. There's a drive in here. I think it's a 970 EVO Samsung, and I'm going to actually put a PCI Express 5.0 in there and run Windows on that. I think it's a PCI Express 3.0, which kind of would slow it down regardless. There's actually 4.0 drives I have, which I could have used too, but I'm gonna just this is the one that I bought after. It was for sale. It's 4.0 NVMe. It's only 1 terabyte, but it's like $50. I can't say that sucks, but at least now I have one of these for something. I already put the the other one in I already put the other one in a system that is not here, but yeah, I bought 2 of these for the price of 1 pretty much. There's a heatsink I have too, one of these Be Quiet MC1 coolers, but it's kind of hard to show you that, so just have to look it up. But anyway, I gotta get the video card out of here just so I can get to the SSD M2 right there. First off, we gotta take this video card out. Gotta unplug the power and then unscrew these video card mounting screws. Then pop out this spring, among other things. Let's get it in the right way. But yeah, but let me get that video card out there and I'll show you the M2s. So here we have the 4070. Let's hang it over there, it's a little easier. So down there we have 2 M2 slots. One actually has a SSD in it. I can actually use both. I don't really see a need to, but yeah, so we're gonna take this guy out in the dark because we can't really see regardless, it seems. Let me find a light. Okay, so we have some light. It's a little bit better. Make sure I ground myself, get this screw. This is a magnetic screwdriver that we thought would be useful. Doesn't seem very useful for that, does it? Take this screw out too. Should be far enough out. Right. Just put the screwdriver somewhere. That's what this rail is useful for. Reach in there and try to get that guy out of there. With one hand. Okay, so I don't want to lose the screws, but there's like a thermal pad on there and actually will stick into it. But as you see, like, I put this in one of the first videos. I wasn't really sure on what all that bus stuff meant. So we'll just leave that there. I guess I'll let that pad relax. And what's nice about this one is that there's a little lever that you can just spin and it pops it right out. I don't like doing it without touching it. Just pull this guy out gently. we got the unfocusable 970 Evo Plus. Yeah. So this is 2 terabytes on just one side. We're gonna put this in something else. That's all. We're also gonna take out that guy. Well, yeah, we got something done. Okay, so here is the drive. It's a Crucial T700, 1 terabyte, generation 5. That's gonna go right there. Put that tape on there to protect that for a second. So this has to go in there. Let me just get this out of the box. Okay, so we are back. Ground myself to the case. So there's no heatsink on this guy. There's no guarantees to stay out. Okay, so there are like decals on it already. If it focuses. I figured the decals would actually hold heat, but I don't know. I'll just leave it there. So to get this in there, we don't have the light again, obviously, but hopefully there's enough light with the shadow of the graphics, or not, the CPU cooler. Messing with this. Push that in there. Let's leave it like that for a second. Oh, we just flip this around. Screw. Flip it. Try to flip it with the hands. I can't get in there. This way, I guess. All the way against it. Like that. I'll put that guy back on. And okay, so we have the heatsink on top. You can't really tell it's in there, but it's you can just kind of see it's underneath there. These heatsink only heatsink the top, so there's chips on the bottom. They're not really being synced, you know, cooled. There's other, I think they're called the Be Quiet M2 heatsink. MC1, actually. They kind of wrap around the whole M2 drive. Anyway, I wanted to change these fans to these 1700 RPM PWM fans, so I'm going to do that right now. We're going to actually use these 2 headers that are somewhere down there. You know, they're kind of like right there. So I'm just going to use we got the fans right there. But we have a splitter that came with the Thermalright heatsink that we'll use with the 2 front fans. So the rear fan has its own speed I want to go. Let's say, well, these are 1300s on there right now. So I'm probably gonna make this one go 1500. Maybe these go 1300 or something. Because like they don't really need to go fast. It's just a matter of like I just want to be able to control them. And when this thing's going fast, I want them to go fast. I want that to cool off, among other things. Anyway, let's just get this thing back in there, get the fans in there, and alright, so I got the 4070 back in there. It's plugged in, tightened down, buttoned up. New fans. These are 1700 fans. They're the Redux. I think the other ones are called, no, they're not called Redux. There's 1300 fans. I don't know. But the Redux is facing to where you see it. On both of them. Well, we thought, no, yeah. The wires are both coming out this side, so they're hidden behind us anyway. And then when they go to there, they go into a combiner cable. I don't know, splitter. It's just one header, so that these both go the same speed, and then this one will go its own speed too. So that one's hooked to here, chassis fan 1. Okay, so before I even put windows on there, let's get this monitor out, ready for action. So it's a 27-inch Asus TUF monitor. It is a VG27AQ1A. Okay, so after sliding it all out, we see that there is a power cable. We have the base, one piece. Let's look at the DisplayPort cable. Yeah, DisplayPort cable. We have an HDMI cable, a spare, obviously. Allen wrench with some small screws, I guess, to mount the base and other things. This is something, probably part of the base. Manual. The base is like a boomerang. And this is a quick, okay, so the heavy thing right there, that thing, is the first thing to mount, and then you mount the boomerang to that. I guess, yeah. This is a power supply of some sort that I'm not sure why I need it if I have the other power cable. We'll find out. Or maybe that's what the power cable does into it. Maybe that's what I'm looking at. Yeah, okay, I see. Has that weird goofy plug on it. So it has some nice styrofoam to destroy my earth, but other than that, I got the back of it. I have to take it out of the back. Okay, so we're gonna spin this around and then maybe mount that itself on it. So as you look at the back, this is where that piece will mount onto, but you can see we have two HDMI outputs, DisplayPort output, and headphones. So I guess you can play headphones even with the DisplayPort. I'm not really sure. I never used it before. So we also have, looks to be a DC. Okay, so that's the power. It's an interesting way of having power, but we'll get this started. So on the thing that I showed earlier, there was a step thing, this guy. Shows to put this on first, screw in the 4 screws, and then screw in other things to that. I guess those are actual regular screws. This is this piece. It looks like a little radar dish. Cable management, meaning you put the cables through this hole to keep them from just falling around. But you slide in on this one, you don't actually have to take this piece off. Usually when, yeah, with these ones, you gotta take them off to mount them to the wall, for example. I do like the idea of mounting them to the wall. Like if I had 2 of these, I'd mount them both kind of in the corner. Or, you know, so what I want to do is I want to get a desk that's kind of like a corner, similar to this one, but bigger. And then some kind of shelving to go here. That little CD shelf that guy's sitting in now, I'll put that over here so one of these can sit in it. And then there's like a shelf there for maybe another lamp or just Lego sets or something. But otherwise, I do want to replace that old 2000 Lowe's desk eventually with something, like I said, it's a corner desk that I can put the computers on top of so they're not against the floor. You can actually see them, for example. But if I had 2 monitors, I can put them both on the back wall and just leave them flat, because I don't really like them, or I might not do anything, but you know what I mean. But yeah, so I'm gonna mount these with these screws that are somewhere. There are 4 tiny screws. Actually, they are just regular screws, so we're not sure what the Allen wrench is for. Oh, it's for those screws. Okay, well, let's get these out and just screw them in, and that's about it. I'm not gonna show that. Okay, so after tightening all 4 of those screws, they're on there. Now I gotta get this piece on there, the boomerang that I put somewhere. Now, I always recommend keeping the box for your monitor in case you have to return it, in case you need to move it. It's just so much easier to move something fragile like a monitor if it has its own box that's like a suitcase. The same with the computer case. You should always keep the computer case box, that way you can move it. You don't have to worry about getting beat up or anything in the truck. I'm just pointing that out. If you have to warranty stuff, that's also useful. So, we got the boomerang, gotta get this more destructive earth stuff off it. Okay, so to stick it on there, I guess you just push it into place and I don't know, I'll figure it out. I don't really know what that means. So there's 4 prongs sticking out here. There's these. Okay, well, we'll look at that. Wasn't very self-explanatory, but I guess you just spin it into place and it just goes on there, and then just screw these guys on with the screwdriver or hand screws. They should hold it. As far as like if that's tight enough, and whatever. So these are holding the weight, and these are just holding this on there so it doesn't want to spin. That's about all I see that's doing. So let's get this well, let's just get the wires. Take a look at those. I know we need this one. And we definitely need the DisplayPort cable. This is a, I guess this is HDMI cable. So this is DisplayPort cable. DisplayPort cable that came with doesn't have easy snaps. Like I bought one that has push snaps. I don't think this has that. I know it does. It does. Oh, I guess I don't know. Let's look at it. Another one. This is from Walmart. This one actually has safety locks that I prefer to use because the HDMI cables, they somehow work themselves loose. On these, when they have that, they won't. As far as if this is a DisplayPort 2.0 compatible cable, well, it doesn't really matter because I can't even use 2.0 anyway. But is there a difference? Do we know the difference? I mean, it's thick. Yeah, we'll just use this. But I'm gonna route it through here and then put it to there, and then figure out the rest. It's just fluff of video. But yeah, we got the power cable onto this brick that I should just double stack tape to the back of this. But I guess it could easily light on fire or burn up, so better I'll just leave it somewhere else. Like just leave it right here. Like this or something. This cable's ready to go. And that cable's ready to be routed. Now I just gotta move that monitor and undo its wireness. Okay, so there's the old monitor, and here's the new. I'll take that stuff off, but it's nice and big. What I don't like is how the buttons are behind, so hopefully that's the power button. It starts up. And voila. So what resolution is this? We don't necessarily know because we are looking. 2560 by 1440p. The screen isn't hard to look at. It's actually easy to see. It's not tiny, but it's not humongous either. This is just that. But it now gives you a lot more desktop to play around with. We'll give it that. So as you see, this is the Linux installation, and we're going to have to actually basically unplug this hard drive or SSD drive, whatever. So we can keep the installation there if we need it, and other things. Yeah, I'll just take this stuff off, but I kind of like seeing that. But that's what it can do. It can do 170 hertz. Has all this extra stuff. It even has red, green, blue somewhere. I don't know where that's going to be, but let's just say that that's possibly on there. I'm not sure where. Yeah, so let's just turn off that light and get started with this installation finally. Okay, so before I do anything, like turn off the computer, I want to get the driver as the most recent. Obviously, it is the 55123 driver at this point. It just released, well, today, 124. Well, today in the video at this moment. So download that guy somewhere to the desktop where you can find it. Here, yeah. What else should I download? I downloaded a lot of stuff before. So, is this a different date than last time? Probably not. That doesn't look like it is newer. How about this one? No. Chipset. Yeah, we're gonna get that. Right, this is there. Audio. That looks kind of newer too. See, the thing about Firefox, at least it puts it all on spot where you didn't need it. We just want drivers. We don't necessarily need that, even though, you know, that's nowhere too. The date, that's what I'm looking at. I think the last time I did this was like January of last year. That's how far away I am here. So get that also. Just put that right there. It's obviously a little bit bigger. I'm thinking that's the same. For some reason that's on there. Always question that. It's a RAID driver. I don't necessarily need it. The armor crate probably is up to date. And let's get that too. Even though in the BIOS you could just install it with the BIOS itself. Okay, so all these need to be here. Yeah, we just gotta make sure all that's ready. We already did the BIOS update not long ago. What's important is like this is up to date and that looks like the same. But you know, maybe I'll just download it anyway just so I have it in the thumb drive ready to go. Okay, so yeah, you just gotta got that stuff in a folder. So just like that, make a folder, you know, what is this? B650 650 plus Wi-Fi. and gone. So that way it's kind of like the same as the CD, just not the CD. And when I make the partition to make the backup files, it'll just be in that partition. I kind of like these here, so how about we just like copy this, paste. That way they're in there too. So you got manuals and all that stuff. And I'll put them on this one drive right here. Yeah, so just make sure you have all your files ready and get ready to go. So that's all squared away. I even got Firefox too. If you look at there, I downloaded that. Put that on the USB stick. It's unmounted. Pop that guy out there. So we have every file needed to get it to work. I just gotta unplug the SATA drive. Well, it's the easiest way to turn off. And we'll just restart this thing. Or turn off and then turn it back on. And I'll get you back here. Got my cup of coffee ready. So we're gonna go. Okay, so I pulled that SSD out. So now it's a very clean area right there. There's nothing there. So it's all black. And obviously this fan's got that dusty out quickly, so I gotta clean those soon. But yeah, got the CD right here. And let's just power this up so we go to the BIOS instead of all that, because like the BIOS is the most important part here. So power it up. Basically just wait for the screen to flash. So yeah, while we're in this, I did something where it made it easier. So we have these three things that need to be configured. I always keep advanced mode anyway. Show all my RPMs of the fans. And we even got Armor Crate if you want to put that on there. It's all my ASUS integrated graphics, stuff like that. So we have to have this off. Secure boot has to be Windows. I don't know if I need to do that. We have key management too, but I don't know if I have to change that or not. I don't think I have to. So we got that done. CSM is disabled. Make sure this is all enabled. Okay, well, it's up to an effort to get that right. I still can get out there on my hand. Whatever they do, they make it so it's balls. Okay. So they used to be in these nice little plastic cases. Anyway, we got Windows 11. Yeah, let's get that in there. Hey, it's a CD-ROM. And guess what? I'm not going to stop using them. All because of some asshole fucking technology. So leave that in there. And we're going to do a quick restart. Right? Look at everything. Look at the glare of the light behind me because it doesn't go away. But we'll see how this works. How about there? So, yeah, restart. So as far as I know, it should try to load the CD, but it might not. It might have to like load it through the BIOS. So we'll see. Hey, it worked. Okay, so we got it started. Okay, I'll bring it back when it actually seems like it's doing something. Okay, well, we got a screen. So we have English. Man, it's small. It's very small. English, US. Now, what would be nice is if didn't have a glare from that stupid thing. Install now. Okay, so we have to activate Windows immediately. And yeah, let me put that in and I'll go past this. Okay, so we have its whole situation. I'm trying to make it look good and readable. Just go all the way through it. Just usually got to go all the way to the bottom anyway, right? Click accept and go. So we're going to do custom. Now here's the thing that a lot of people don't seem to think about is a partition for a lot of other stuff. Like with hard drives, you were automatically doing partitions anyway. Well, most of us. But yeah, so we have this unallocated space. What does it do? Okay, so right now it's 1 terabyte. That's almost 1 million megabytes. So what do we want? 100 or 200? We're gonna go with 200 gigabytes for the actual Windows installation. So that's 200,000. Okay, so we have a made a list of partitions, the boot partition, or this is the boot partition really, and this is just like a UEFI partition. This is actually the installation. And then I have all that other disk space that I can make partitions in. I'll make a 200 gigabyte partition for, let's say, World of Warcraft. Or I'll make a 200 gigabyte partition for Steam. Or I'll make a 200 gigabyte partition for, you know, backup files. Or I can make it bigger. It depends on like how I have it set up. I haven't been really playing other games, so I still got plenty of Windows games. I just don't play them. But that's usually what I do with any drive. Now usually this is already set up. Like if it's the hard drive, I'll try to set up the hard drive with a different Windows computer. So there's just 200 gigabytes that I just click on and it installs to. So it doesn't make all these other little partitions, but they're not important. So they're important in the sense they get it working, but they're not important to care about. What matters is like make it so I can make extra partitions that I can lock out and encrypt from Windows, so I don't have to worry about losing files all because of Windows updates. So yeah, we get that started. And how long will this take? Well, we'll find out. With the tripod, this is a lot easier to do. I can even zoom out a little bit and show you what's going on the screen. Obviously, it shows the status bar on the bottom. How long will it take? Okay, so it took about 10 minutes to get this far. I finished my coffee cup. But at least it's, moving. It's finally moving. So, there we go, we got a screen. So what is this? It just restarted on me. So I think that's the Windows thing. Getting devices ready, get ready. The CD-ROM is not being used now, to my knowledge. So that was about, I don't know, 7:30, 7:40. We're starting again. 32 gigabytes of memory. And still Windows isn't needed. Is it a good sign it's doing this? I don't know. I don't know. Well, when it says just a moment, at least it means it's moving on. You might get some disclaimer thing saying, oh, you don't have secure boot on, or you need to have your TPM on, blah blah blah. But here we go, we got something. Yes, we are moving. So we are at United States, obviously. But shit, let's just go to Uruguay. Oh, fuck it. No, I'm not doing that. But you can make any country you want. It will give you different languages, obviously. So if we went to Uruguay, maybe it'll make it that language. But it's funny. Anyway, clicking yes on the United States. Is this the right keyboard? Yeah. No. Well, at least now it's not tiny. The last part was over an hour of assembling this computer finally. The operating system video, it might not be shorter. I'm not sure how long it is so far. I have clips of steps getting to this point. So right now, I don't know. When this is all together, I apologize right now. It's an hour long. But like usual, Windows takes forever to install. Your PC will restart before you continue again. Some things in the video making, I gotta figure out glares. Figuring out ways to hold the camera in front of my face. They're better than what I'm doing. I'm not gonna tell you what I'm doing right now. But there are better ways. Here we go. Okay, so we got to the name. Let's name your device. And we just make it the name of the motherboard. A6D M plus 4, 5. So, hit restart again. So we do have a network connection, which is good. We are on the network. Yeah, I usually have gripes about Windows things, but like when I installed Windows 7, 7 was pretty flawless. I mean, I had no problem with. So we're gonna look at this. So what's the difference? We'll find out. Nah, it still has that. So I just made my username. So we'll just pause it, because you might hear it. Okay, so let's get past that, which actually that's the better way. I don't like having, you know, an email access for my home operating system. I just don't like it. I don't like it at all. It's not secure in a sense at all. It makes it so that this operating system sits there, put ads on the thing, and like just give you ads in your freaking email too. I don't want that. So yeah, the domain workspace one is probably a good choice, and you just make your username like you would with Windows 2000 or XP, with a password obviously that's decent. Well, I don't know what we need that on a computer. Diagnostic data. No. 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 I'd like to point out this is location is fine, because at least the weather channel will work, right? So if we go to the weather channel with Firefox, it knows where I am. So that's kind of important to stay. Advertising IT. No. Accept. Yeah, that's right. You can turn all that stuff off. You don't have to have any of that stuff on. Okay. So it now says hi. Just know, computer, if you can hear me, since I don't have the microphone connected anyway. Yeah, so if you don't have the microphone connected to begin with, I guess you don't have to worry about it listening to you. But if you do have it, you can always try to talk to it, since it's AI, right? So maybe it listens. So you keep saying, make this more like 2000, so it's fast. And then you can just keep doing that over and over again until it finally does. I don't know. And there we go, we got the intro page. Yeah, so it's installed. But now we have to kind of install the files. So we're gonna start doing this. Nope. Nope. I don't know what that is, but no. No. Yeah, let's just clean it up a little bit. What else can I do to change this? I'll put it this way, let's just get rid of this. I don't need that either. I kind of like this here. Or it doesn't really matter where it is, we'll just put it there. So we'll just empty that recycle bin. So we have the operating system installed, and I already hate certain things, so we'll just change something. So we have power settings somewhere. The right resolution, 100% scale, advanced display. How about our network is working? So we're just going to install all that stuff before we do anything else. There's some things here that don't need to be here. That's what. If I can just edit that, that'd be nice. Off. I don't care. Task view. Search. Yeah, so we got that, that's easy. So we got apps, make sure this is new. We're not using OneDrive, we're not using Teams. So yeah, that's set. Gaming, Xbox, accessibility, Windows Update. There is a advanced options. So we got the 551 driver. There was one file that was humongous, and that was the freaking like integrated graphics driver. Got this. Yes, we want this. Like the Linux thing. I just like having my bikes in the pictures, okay? But yeah, microscopic icons, and they're not exactly in a grid here either. There's probably some way to change this too. But I just put them in there so they're in there already. Well, they were in the folder. We got Firefox. We have everything else. I think we're right there. What's the other thing? We got the other two pictures of bikes. So, as you notice, the icons are very microscopic, so yeah. We don't just mount, obviously. Or do we? Can we have a safety remove drive thing? Okay. So, the first thing I want is... Do we have audio at all? No, we must have audio because it's definitely working. We're going to do the chipset. Well, we had the... Okay, so Armory Crate we'll put over here. So yeah, we just start like doing this. Start this one. Yeah, what the hell do I have WinRAR for? We're gonna get this thing up to speed. Yeah, I need my second cup of coffee. I'm freaking out. But why must this extraction take so long? Okay. So where did it extract to? Okay, there. And we can put this here. Extract all. so they're all sitting right there at the moment. Did I already do the chipset? That's chipset. Okay. So we just need the LAN extracted. Put that over there too. Now, why do you always have this? Because welcome to Mozilla Firefox. We don't need to do anything, but we just know it's in there. That's done. But we'll just put this over here too, because we're going to put this in the backup thing. So Firefox is probably going to be here anyway. These are just, you know, PDF files are going to go in the folder. It was install the chipset because that's actually the motherboard. That looks like everything. Okay, so get that in there. Let it do its thing. Chipset installer software. Checking your PC's hardware for driver compatibility. It looked like a newer date than what that other thing said. Okay, well, we'll just do it. So, that way the CPU has its full support. It seemed pretty stable on Linux, so we'll see how stable it is with Windows. There are other things I changed to make the operating system a little more sophisticated. Like Alt Control Delete, and it doesn't show the last username on start. Yeah, so let's restart the system. So the chipset's installed. Generally, you want to install all the hardware before you install Firefox, for example. But Firefox is already in there, so we just put that in there so it's out of the way. But yeah, hardware and then software. The most important hardware is the motherboard or CPU, then the video card, then the LAN. I say LAN after video card because LAN isn't as important. So I'm going to log in. Right. And we're back to the desktop. So we also have audio too, yeah. So chipset's in there, right? And we want the audio. Okay, so the Realtek driver is installed. That wasn't too long. Restarts again. Okay, we're back to the screen. That was the audio. Chipset. That was the LAN. Make sure it's updated. Okay, done. this stuff still looks the same after all these years. Actually, it came a long way since Windows 8. Windows 8, it had a start screen that had all these icons on it, at least the alpha and beta versions. And they did away with it to make it so it's just a box in the corner. It's funny. But yeah, we're gonna probably clean up this stuff a little more. It's also a way to change the icons so we show more icons. Well, it doesn't ask to restart for that one, does it? Okay, well, we're gonna just install the video driver. Yeah, the other one's at 531. This is 551. So, this is the more recent driver. So what I normally do is like these files all here, even the manuals. Yeah, I made it a CD with this stuff on it. But the problem is, yeah, so I usually just don't put this experience in there because it's a waste of time. Do a clean install because they put something on there anyway. And hit next. It is tiny, but you should still see it with a normal computer screen. Get that to start and it will just sit there flickering. And yeah, so I'll just put all this stuff in a folder. That we figured we can edit. Well, this is a new folder. A new folder, the stuff in there. And they're ready to go into the backup partition. Actually, this got to go there. Or not. Maybe not. So as that's installing and flickering, so the installer finally finished. I didn't install the driver experience because it's pointless. I don't know. It's just a waste of space. Close and it probably has to restart. Well, normally it does. But yeah. So we have the operating system installed. There's some other tweaks I can do. I don't know, we got other tweaks that we definitely do. For example, when you type search, you can actually type all the basic stuff. You'll get this if you need this for any reason. And you can even make a shortcut to it. So let's say you had it here, and you can pin that to your start, so you don't have to look for it again. You also have like reg edit. You can still get to that if you need to edit the registry for any in particular reason. You can pin that to start. So it's all like right here where you can find it. You can add like my computer or this PC somewhere. I just forget where it is. There's a lot of settings to look at. Themes, for example. Yeah, so we got my computer, network. Control panel doesn't need to be there, but I kind of like the control panel having a shortcut. Yeah, so we'll do that. We got those. I kind of like it this way. We're gonna make a grid soon. Why is there normally 3? What else is normally there? Got a recycle bin. And then we have like, you know, this. And once that. So when we go to this, it should just go to a file folder, not the other thing. Now what I do is I usually just make a shortcut to it. So go, as you see, there's all this stuff. Yeah. Go to here, and then just make desktop shortcut. So more options. Send to desktop shortcut. This is just my normal thing I do. Any particular reason why? There. I don't know if you can read it, but get the idea. But this is the folder that you look into if you think you have a virus. Just wipe out everything in here usually, and that usually cleans it up. Like, I'll probably just delete all that stuff. In here, it's just nice to have this for whatever reasons. If you need to get to it, for example, if I have to close this thing, I gotta get to this. There are other tweaks, but like I said, all this stuff's there. Since we have to show more options. So that is that. So there's other things I can do here to make this a little easier to read, because this whole screen is kind of too small. We can change the background. I still have to figure out where it is. So we have validation, maybe background. It's kind of like the one on Linux, right? It's like a lake, but it has mountains. The other one looks like kind of like Zion Lake in, you know, New Jersey. This just looks like what, Colorado? Maybe Alaska? Who knows? But yeah, so what I like this here for is that you can easily go to the manager, and you can go to this. You can check to make sure everything's in here working. There's no unusual problems with, you know, hardware. They're all seemingly functioning. So we get the disk management. So we have like a recovery partition, this, and this. 736 gigabytes of unallocated space. So in there, we can make a new simple volume that takes up, well, we won't put whale on it, so how about we make it can't believe how big it is now. So if it's 80 gigabytes, I want at least 200. Maybe 250. 250,000. I just don't really want that many. I don't understand it. So there we have that. And it has its own partition. It still gives us 492 gigabytes for other things like music, backup files, stuff like that. I don't really find the backup files eating that much space. Meaning 200 gigabytes for another game might not be big enough, but you know, so we got 492 or 500. If we put 250 for whale, we'll just put another 250. Take the laser gun. And it gives us another 250, right, for the backup files and everything else. So, there. So you're wondering why I did that, is so it's easier to put stuff like this in there. But you can also just like, there's two M2 drives. You can use this M2 drive for the main system. Maybe like the rest of the space would be your games. Or each game should get its own partition just so it runs good if it's an online game especially. But yeah, we got one file in there. So we have a good system going. I guess in the next part, we'll have the whole desktop cleaned up. Alright, so next morning goes, we did some serious OS tweaks. I have hardware monitor. Also CPU ID somewhere. But a lot of things you can just download as a normal app, so it can easily make a shortcut. Like so, Firefox. I like having network ready so I can go on a network and get files. This PC is just what used to be called my computer. You click that and you find your disk. Made the mouse single click. You can't really change your mouse pointer, at least not so much. And I'll just leave it like this. I don't know. Sometimes I put this like letter G. Sometimes it just separates it, puts its own place, but I guess like it does it with phones and stuff. Anyway, that like that. This is all running things, but yeah, I tweaked this a little bit. So we got the settings, control panel, computer management, reg editor, and command prompts, along with the store. All this right there. I mean, there's no ads, right? I've seen ads on some people's things. But with settings, you got the normal settings. You know, you just go there and you can change stuff like so. Control panel is the old way of changing stuff, where you can actually find your programs list. Let's say you have programs and you need to remove them, right? You cannot remove this, as it says other places you can, but you can't seem to remove this. It will just remove it and reinstall it. For the most part, like This is the most useful thing that was in the downloads. The armor crate was kind of a nightmare. Like, do not put that on there if you don't want to have 200 processes running at once. And it wasn't small. Like, I want a small gauge set, you know? I don't need to see, like, all these bells and whistles all the way across the screen. Like, hardware monitor by CPU-Z or whatever. It's a small thing that has every voltage and everything else, right? So, why use anything else? I don't know. You can minimize the groups. You know, you don't have to see everything. You just need, like, let's say, temperature for your video card. So you just leave that open and close everything else. You know, you don't need any other thing running, right? You can get the drive speed. You can look at everything there. The RAM, core utilization. You can see the core clocks, the powers, the voltage of the clocks. You got your fan speeds. You got the other temperatures. And then you basically got everything just right there if you don't want to see the clocks. There, that takes up a lot less of a footprint. Or I can make this move up a little bit and make it a little bit smaller. I just know, like, that's the best I can really do. I just want, like, you know, temperature gauge for CPU. Temperature gauge for this. But that's technically, you got the GPU right there now, at least it's in the task manager. So that's really all that matters, is that I don't have to see the CPU's temperature so much. So yeah, that's set. Computer management is so you can look at all this stuff. You can make sure your task scheduler, for example, doesn't keep adding crap into it. Let's say it tries to make these edge update things go, so I just disable them. It will keep making them again if it deletes them, so I just put them back in. I just put them disabled. You go down to here, you got Microsoft's own things. It's kind of interesting how there's stuff in there and there's like nothing in there at the same time. But yeah, we got so many. We don't know what that is, but save game task. Sorry, but no, I'm not gonna play Xbox on here. So the event viewer is usually what I look at, but I don't even have to go in here to that. There's a regedit file that I have in my archive of files that I still gotta add to this, that I can clear all these logs. So if you look at it, it's kind of like loading. It's because there's so many of them, so fast. But you can clear them. You don't need to clear them, but it's just good to clear them because they start taking up space. And yeah, there might be errors that you might look at. Distributed COM error. There's warnings. But one of these warnings, they were like a while ago. So when was the COM error? 1140. Okay, so it probably don't matter. Because when I first got on the phone here, I kind of was checking it out. Make sure the device manager is still good. When I put Armor Crate on there, it seems to actually remove the driver for this somehow. So that's what that one PCI device is, if you're wondering. It's a AMD PSP 11 device, or Trusted Platform Module. It obviously doesn't need to use it to work Windows if it didn't work, meaning it wasn't running. So I don't know, maybe it's working, but it wasn't working at the same time. Otherwise, if you look at that stuff, it's basically the same stuff. Even if it still somehow has that on there, that might not be supposed to be on there. I don't know if I unplug the lights, if it comes off or not. But yeah, this management is fine. We made a whole bunch of disk, right? So we have like that's the main partitions, and then we have like the game partition that already has some data on it, and then this is just empty for more games, and then this one has data. Services, I went through them, made sure everything. There's still something like this. But maybe when I restart, that'll go away. Who knows? But this is when it says failed to thing, you can fix that stuff, and that is what the registry's for. So there was something I had to fix. It was called. It was a Microsoft file. One of these things. This thing. Now playing, whatever. I think that's going to change. This whole situation is probably going to change its name to now playing System Messenger. Meaning I just fixed that. There was an MCP, and I changed it to something. Maybe it was no. Language experience. I don't know. It was some kind of file. I changed the name of it, and it's now like not showing anything. But you can always look at that stuff. Sometimes I delete the actual, or not delete it. But there's a print spooler. I usually just turn it off because if I'm not using the printer, well, I have the spool service running. It's one less SVC host in the list of 500 SVC hosts. Because if you look at the process, there's like, that's already gone. That's just stopped. Where is the process list? So we got 34 basic processes, and then you got like 80 Windows processes. 80. Does it need 80 running at the same freaking time? Now, it may not matter what all the cores, but you know, like, the less shit running, the better. But yeah, anyway, like, let's say like Windows 11 installed on the system pretty easily. I don't really want to run any benchmarks, but I do want to at least make a video on the whole build. So this is part 9, right? So thanks for watching part 9 of that BMX Guys 2022, 2023, 2024 system build, because it was a long test and tune process for the most part. Anyway, I'll see you next time. Thanks for watching.